Welcome back. Now, pressure group Occupy Ghana has alleged the Attorney General and Minister of Justice has been forced to reverse course in her effort to retrieve 51 million from NDC businessman Alfred Woyome. The Attorney General had filed an application at the Supreme Court to orally examine Alfred Agbeshi Woyome. A leading member of Occupy Ghana, Sydney Casely Hayford, earlier spoke with my colleague Saloma Menya.
Mr. Kisley, tell me, are you disappointed by this action coming from the Attorney General?
Yes, severely disappointed. It's a shame. It's a very, very big shame that we have to go through this whole process in order for her to do what she's supposed to do naturally and normally in a case like this. This is a high-profile case of theft. It has been identified as such. Supreme Court has actually passed judgment, and we have to carry on fighting for what is right to be done. It is not right. It is just something that the people of this country should be very, very incensed about. He's guilty. His assets are supposed to be attached. He says he has no assets. You have to find a mechanism to determine whether or not he's telling you the truth or whether or not he's just being a clever thief. And this is what the law is all about. It's about being able to use the mechanics of the law to unravel what normally the regular person in the street cannot see. So there's something very, very wrong with what is being done. We want to call it a cowardly step and a back away from what we know the eventual truth will reveal. We all know that Alfred Agbeshi Woyome was a financier for the NDC party. This case has been shrouded in the whole mess of the money being taken and used for political purposes. We know where it's ended up. We know where it went. We want enough proof to be able to go after those other persons who received stolen money in order for us to retrieve this money for the people of Ghana. Our democracy gives us a chance to elect a new government periodically. When we do that, we expect the new government to come in and show us a cleaner pair of hands. We will expect the new government to go out there and pursue a matter vociferously and with a certain amount of vigor in order for us to get what we want out of the democracy that we've emplaned on. Additionally, what is happening now? We have a much stronger Supreme Court and a much stronger High Court. We are in a position now to look at the people who we have put in place in the cause of judgment, and they are now beginning to take a stand against some of the things that governments tend to do. And this is working well for us, and we see the Supreme Court as the last bastion of hope in everything that we are going to do. We will not give up.
Right, let's now get onto the telephone lines. Abraham Amaliba is a private legal practitioner. He's joining me now for some perspective on this issue. Good evening, sir, and thank you very much. The Attorney General's Department has filed a notice at the Supreme Court to discontinue a case it filed against Alfred Agbeshi Woyome in the judgment, in the 51 million judgment debt saga. Isn't this clear that the Attorney General is unwilling to claim the money?
Let me start by saying good evening to your viewers. You got it all wrong. What the Attorney General did in court is permissible in law. Now, the Attorney General has taken steps to retrieve this money. The Attorney General has attached the properties of Woyome, 3 of them, at Trasacco, and there has been some interpleader, that is to say, some other person has come to say that he or she has an interest in those properties. So that matter is in court, yet to be determined. Then the Attorney General has garnished Mr. Woyome's bank account, and we've taken some money out of it, although that is not enough. The money there was not enough. Now, what happened was that when Woyome was not forthcoming, the Attorney General filed an application at the Supreme Court asking that Woyome be examined. Now, after this was filed, Woyome came up with a letter, and that letter was addressed to the Attorney General, stating that he was prepared to pay and he would want to meet the Attorney General and indicate the terms of payment. So the Attorney General went to court, withdrew the matter with leave to reapply. So what it means is that it has not been withdrawn completely, but with leave to reapply. What this means is that when they have the discussions, I mean the Attorney General and Wyoming, after the discussions, if they conclude the discussions and the Attorney General is not satisfied with Wyoming's terms of payment, the Attorney General can go back to court and deal with the matter as she wanted to deal with it. So it is not yet uhuru, it's not yet over, it's not as if the Attorney General has decided to withdraw the case completely. And this is the position of the law.
Right, Mr. Abraham Amaliba, we're grateful for your time. Abraham Amaliba is a private legal practitioner, and he joined us there to share his views on the matter. And this is still News at 10. We'll be right back.